The Cubs do something they haven't done since 2020. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs finally clinched their spot today. This is MLB Game Night.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Welcome into MLB Game Night. It's every game, it's every night. I am one of your hosts, Shitty Hafron, the host of Locked On Cardinals. With me, Jon Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels, and a man who still uses the shake weight to sculpt his guns in his free time. Coming up on today's show, we got the Mariners and Guardians looking to continue their winning streaks. Manny and the Padres slam the Mets back down to earth, and the Astros looking for the sweep of the Texas Rangers. Today's show brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to www.5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. First off, as a Cardinals fan, John, even saying the words to that Cubs song made me feel icky. Made me feel a little icky inside.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
Credit to the Cubbies. You gotta, give them credit for what they've done. They were in Pittsburgh today, and they are headed back to the postseason. Well done for the Chicago Cubs. First time since 2020, they get an 8-4 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates today and complete the sweep of the Buccos with this victory. Chicago has won 4 in a row and 7 of their last 8 games. We got our man Sam Olber from Locked On Cubs to discuss the excitement around the Cubbies getting to play baseball in October yet again.
For the first time since 2020, and for the first time in the Sam Olber, Matt Cozy Locked On Cubs era, the Chicago Cubs are going to the postseason. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast, and it doesn't get any better than that. I know it's been a weird road and a weird path, and it started out great, and it's been kind of up and down since, but 162-game season is a long season. It's a lot of baseball. Whenever you get the opportunity to go play in October and to go take your shot at winning a world championship, there's nothing like it. And the Cubs clinched that today. The game itself was a weird one. Cubs were up 4-0 early. Was not a good day for Matthew Boyd. He couldn't hold the lead, but the offense continues to hit without Kyle Tucker, without much from Seiya Suzuki, although he returned today. Big day for Hap, Horner. Ballesteros hit a home run. Maybe he's playing himself into a postseason lineup. All that fun stuff is really going to be great to talk about because the Cubs are going to the playoffs. That is guaranteed, and hopefully in the next couple of days, the fact that they'll be hosting that at Wrigley Field, that 3-game series, will also become official as well. Enjoy today, Cubs fans. It doesn't happen every year.
On the other side of things, we got Gary from Locked On Pirates, who was a little bit concerned that the Pirates are trying to, whatever it is they're trying to build here is starting to show cracks in the foundation.
My least favorite things happened today. The Pirates had another team celebrate in the visitors' locker room that they were going to the playoffs. It's not like I thought the Pirates were going, but I just don't like seeing it, and I see it way too often. Hey, this is Gary from Locked On Pirates. Yeah, nothing to report. Again, another loss. Happens all the time. Another sweep. Pirates have done that quite a lot this year, too. Yeah. Cubs are a good team this year. Pirates aren't. That's pretty much what happened. We're going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow. I think the foundation of what we thought we had to build on is really, really taking hits this last couple weeks, and that's kind of where we need to pick up from. We're going to also talk a little bit about Altoona being in the playoffs, Connor Griffin continuing to do well there with a host of others. More on this tomorrow on Locked On Pirates.
I feel Gary's pain because as you do, John, where
yes,
our teams are not going to the playoffs, so we're starting to talk about prospects and things going on in the minor leagues a little bit more. But obviously, he's when he's talking about the foundation there, he's talking about guys like Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz and what the heck is going on with them offensively. But the focus should be on the Cubs right now. As Sam mentioned, it was a very wild game. The Cubs scored 4 runs before the Pirates could record it out. Michael Busch got to third on a Nico Horner single, came in to score with a balk. Ian Happ, he's been on quite a heater recently, hit the 2-run home run, and then you got Ballesteros hitting that solo shot. Pirates end up fighting back, get 3 runs in the bottom of the first and tied it in the bottom of the second. Cubs got the lead back in the 6th inning with a 3-run inning, added 1 more for good measure in the 8th. So, John, I do have a 2-part question for you, so here we go. Okay. Number 1, if you are Craig Counsell, manager of the Cubs, who are you starting in the Cubs' first postseason game? And number 2, do you know what a Chicago dog is? And if so, would you ever eat one?
I don't think I know the specifics of a Chicago dog. Is there anything to that, or am I missing something there?
Stuff on it. Let's put it that way. You
I love lots of stuff.
Tomato. There's like a tomato wedge on these things. You get pickles. Celery salt. There's all kinds of stuff on there. First time they gave me one when I was in Chicago, I was like, what? Is this a joke? What is this? I'm used to the plain Jane hot dog back in St. Louis. We don't do anything fancy to them, but it's an experience. So I think you should try it.
I think I would have a Chicago dog. Unfortunately, when I went to Wrigley, where I got my Seiya Suzuki jersey here, they were out of town. So I got to tour Wrigley without the team being there. It was still fun. Now, if I'm Craig Counsell, I think I got to turn it over to Matthew Boyd. I know he didn't have a good outing in this one, but I'm looking back at his game log. And the truth is when it comes to facing teams that are going to be in the postseason, he goes deep, right? He got a win against the Brewers recently, against Toronto. They didn't win that game, but he went 7 innings, 1 earned run or 2 earned runs against Toronto, right? So he's proven that he can take on these tough teams. Let the guy have his turn because he's really carried this rotation. If I'm not going to Matthew Boyd, I'm going to Cade Horton for that first start for sure.
Okay, makes sense. We're moving on to Kansas City. Cal Raleigh and Dominic Canzone and the Mariners were in town once again. They went off on Tuesday night. Could the Mariners ride the momentum wave after that game into another victory on Wednesday? Well, the Royals jumped on him, started Bryce Miller early with 3 in the first inning on a 3-run jack by Salvador Perez, his 29. Seattle answers in the second inning with a 2-run shot by Eugenio Suarez, his 46. He's 3 shy of the career high that he popped out, 49 back with the Reds in 2019. He's 8 short of Alex Rodriguez's record for home runs by a third baseman with 54. So keep an eye on that. Seattle would then tied in the 7th on a Mitch Garver sac fly. Then they take the lead in the 8th on a J.P. Crawford solo shot, his 11th. But in the bottom of the 8th, the Royals rally against Matt Brash, of all people, he's one of the more unhittable guys. It shocks me that anybody puts the bat on the ball against him, but they take advantage of a leadoff walk, then a 2-run opposite field home run that snuck just inside the foul pole there in left field off the bat of Adam Frazier. Is that right?
He's been good this year. He's been crazy good this year.
Adam Frazier hits his 7th home run. Royals got the lead and tack on 2 more on base knocks by Carter Jensen and then Bobby Witt Jr., which makes more sense. And they end up to win this one by a score of 7-5 and break the Mariners' winning streak. Let's go to Detroit. Guardians. Is it time to start believing in Cleveland and start taking them a little more seriously? They've been through a lot this year, but have refused to quit on the season. And once again, they are streaking after shutting out the Tigers on Wednesday by a score of 4-0. Here's Justin from Locked On Guardians on this roller coaster season in Cleveland.
Point this season, I was out of words to describe how the Guardians season had gone so badly. We had an 0-10 stretch, a 1-9 stretch, 2 pitchers investigated for gambling, making them ineligible. Austin Hedges has pitched 3 times this year. And here we are on September 17th or 18th, depending on when you're watching this, and I'm out of words to describe how good things have gotten for the Guardians after another close clutch win, this time over the Detroit Tigers 4-0. I'm Justin Latta from Locked On Guardians. The Tigers made Gavin Williams work hard. I thought he was good. He wasn't his best, but he was good. They fouled off a lot of pitches. They took some pitches. It was a bad strike zone all night from the home plate umpire, but they persevered. He only allowed 5 base runners in 5 innings, 9 strikeouts. The bullpen, it was a battle of which bullpen would break the least, and the Guardians didn't break at all, and the bullpen seemingly was out of gas, but they got it done. They got out of every clutch situation. Somehow Bo Naylor, the guy we've been complaining about all year offensively, has come through all week for them. Just ridiculous. And Thursday's game will be an ace-off. We have Tanner Bybee and Tarek Skubal The Guardians are fighting for the playoff lives. The Tigers are trying to keep this thing at distance. It'll be at 1 o'clock, but it can't be missed. And you can't miss Locked On Guardians as we talk about all of it.
All right, Justin, excited. It's been a wild season. They've now won 6 in a row, 9 of their last 10. 2.5 back from a wild card spot, but they are staring up at 3 very good teams in the New York Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Mariners, who are all playing pretty well. So it's not going to be easy for Cleveland, but take care of your business, keep winning games, and let everything fall into place if you can. But it might be too little, too late for Cleveland. On the way, Manny Machado with the Padres look to put the Mets back in the L column. Plus, the Boston Red Sox, who we just brought up, go to extras against those pesky A's. That's all coming up on MLB Game Night. Today's show brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade, which is always nice. 5-Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine, and they do it in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee. Plus, you're getting good stuff, B vitamins and nutrients as well. 0 sugar, 0 crashes. What you'll love most about this, at least it's one of the things that I like the most about it, is the fact that they are portable. They're tiny. They're small. They go with you wherever you want to go, so you can get that boost when you need it wherever you are. Best news, it works fast, and as I mentioned, sugar-free, so you don't have to worry about those extra calories that sugar brings you, so I don't have to worry about crashing later either. Lots of delicious flavors to choose from. I'm a peach mango guy. It's been my go-to for a couple years now, but it's also that time of year. Pumpkin spice, now available. So you can get it for yourself. Enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in-store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. MLB Game Night, every game, every night. We take you to New York, where the Mets were able to use the buddy system to pick up a win on the Padres on Tuesday night. Clay Holmes went 4 innings with Sean Manny and his beautiful singing voice going 5 as well. And while the Mets have teams trying to take their place in the NL wildcard, the Mets are trying to take care of their own business and secure their spot in the postseason. Now, could they keep it going against the Padres with the lefty David Peterson on the mound? Let's find out. Let's check in with Chris Schubert from the Locked On Mets postcast.
Showed fight, but it was a Manny Machado grand slam off of David Peterson that sunk them 7-4 in the second of this 3-game series. And unfortunately, is a conversation that is all too familiar. The Mets just don't have enough starting pitching. It was David Peterson's turn, and through the first 4 innings, you at least got the glimpses, some hope that it was the old David Peterson, but unfortunately that 5th inning brought it back to reality. Since August 6th, David Peterson has an ERA north of 7. It's honestly unrosterable. David Peterson has actively hurt the Mets since the beginning of August, and the Mets are running out of time. They're running out of options. They have a 1.5 game lead with just 10 games to go. The best thing they can do for themselves right now, win this series tomorrow against the Padres, find a way to sweep over the weekend against Washington. That will put them in a great position with 6 games to go in the season.
All right. So Mets lose again. Got to give some credit to what the Padres got over there in their dugout. Manny Machado, grand slam, leads all active players with 14 career grand slams. That's why he's part of Slam Diego. If you haven't heard that phrase yet, you're about to hear a lot of it if they make the postseason. The offense was there for the Mets, though. Juan Soto did match a career high in home runs, hitting his 41st of the year. He earned that last year with the Yankees. This time, he did it without that short porch in right field. So give him some credit there. And he's got 32 stolen bases. At least that's what he had going into tonight.
Right.
He's not fast. He's not fast at all, but there he is. I think I saw he was 14th percentile in sprint speed, which is way down here at the bottom yet. There he is with over 30 stolen bases. Alonso, Starling Marte, and Francisco Alvarez also homered. Alvarez back in the lineup a night after he left the game due to a hit by pitch. Nick Pivetta for the Padres been really, really good. Didn't have the best day, though, in this one. Coughed up 3 of those Mets home runs, just 4 2/3 with 7 hits total and 5 Ks. It was Adrian Morejon who ended up picking up the W, the lefty out of the bullpen. He's been a little bit rough recently too. So he's turning it around at least in this particular game. So Padres end up taking that one 7-4. Let's go down south. Let's go to Texas. We talked about the big playoff implications this series had for both the Astros and the Rangers just 3 days ago. The Rangers we were talking about like, ooh, look how hot these guys are. They going to be the sneaky team that gets into the playoffs and is that one team that just comes out of nowhere. And they were right back there in the wild card race, but the Astros took the first 2 games of the series as they bounced back and forth between first and the AL West, along with the Seattle Mariners. They also lost Yordan Alvarez earlier in the week, although they've been playing most of the year without him, so they're used to that. But would Jacob deGrom be enough to help the Rangers get right and salvage this series? Let's turn it over to Brett from Locked On Astros to find out.
The Astros only need 6 hits and 5 runs to beat Jacob deGrom and the Texas Rangers. Hello, I'm H-Town Wellhouse here with Locked On Astros. A huge series sweep. I mean, this team now has won 5 of its last 7 games, scoring 4 runs or more in those games, and they have been on fire. This team just keeps doing it. I mean, Yordan goes down in this series, and they face Jacob deGrom in Game 3. Surely they're not going to sweep, but they do. And on the other side of the tail of the tape is the Seattle Mariners lose, so that means the Astros own a half-game lead in the AL West going into the weekend series, the last home series for the Astros in Daikin Park. And they've got their big dogs up there. We'll talk about it on the next Locked On Astros. I'll be joined by Trevor Hauer. I've been sitting out for the week. Thank y'all for tuning in with Eric and Trevor. Look, man, we're always positive, always Stros here. The work is not finished, but the magic number shrinks every time the Astros win and the Mariners lose. Hopefully when they come to town, they can get a series win or, heck, even a sweep. Might as well, because why? Houston is inevitable.
Good to see H back, by the way. He had a little bit of a medical thing in case you're not somebody who watches Locked On Astros. So good to see him back on his feet and back in the chair again. Going to be a huge weekend, John. Mariners Astros down in Houston, and could determine who the winner of the AL West is by Sunday. The Astros will face the A's and the Angels to finish out the year, while the Mariners will have to face the Rockies, but then they got to face the Dodgers to wrap up their regular season. Moving on to Boston, the A's offense, we know it's always a threat to put up some big numbers. They actually eked out a 2-1 lead over Boston on Tuesday. How would their bats respond in this one? And with the Sox sticks farewell on Wednesday as well? Let's send it out to our girl Gabby from Locked On Red Sox on this exciting finish from Fenway.
Good things happen when you put the ball in play. I'm Gabby Maljanian from Locked On Red Sox, and the Red Sox just walked off the A's in 5-4 fashion in 10 innings, with Nick Sogard being the hero. He came up in the bottom of the 10th inning to pinch hit for Cedar Rafaela, while Nick Sogard, who had come in for Rob Refsnyder after the bottom of the 9th inning, to basically serve as the ghost runner in the 10th and has speed also, was on third base at the time. Nick Sogard hit a weak ground ball to second base, and using his speed, Nate Eaton was able to slide home and score the winning run. So it proves the point that rather than swinging for the fences, just swing for contact and good things will happen. Red Sox still struggling to score with runners in scoring position, though. Tune in to Locked On Red Sox on any podcast platform for more on that.
Yeah, Gabby isn't lying. 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position for Boston tonight. They were 0 for 7 the night before. Luckily for them, the A's weren't very good tonight either, with runners in scoring position going 3 for 15. Lucas Giolito, 4 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 5 hits, 5 Ks, 5 walks. Walks will haunt you. But Boston held the A's top 3 in check. Nick Kurtz, Shea Langoliers, and Brett Rooker combined to go just 1 for 13. No RBIs. Kurtz struck out 4 times in 6 at-bats. Time to get Alex Bregman to the gym, though, John, because he goes 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run in this one. But the power has vanished for Alex Bregman in a ballpark that he should be able to hit home runs. He's used to a short porch from his time in Houston. The monster's right there, but yet 1 home run in his last 120 at-bats, spanning over his last 31 games. John, can the Sox make the playoffs with this version of Alex Bregman at third base?
Yeah, they can still make the playoffs, because I've seen a lot of Alex Bregman as an Astro. I've seen him in the playoffs, and the guy just finds a way every single time. He's so annoying to me as an Angel fan because of all the damage that he was able to do to the Halos over the years. And yeah, maybe the power's not there right now, but as Gabby mentioned, put the dang ball in play and good things will happen. And that's how the Red Sox were able to get the win over the A's in this one. So I feel like Bregman's going to be that guy who gets hot at the right time, and the right time is coming up here. In about a week and a half, we're going to see Alex Bregman in the postseason. I think the Sox can get there. I think he's going to be just fine. And this power problem, we're going to forget all about it by the time October rolls around.
Coming up, Phillies and Dodgers have had two very entertaining games in LA already this week. The Phillies looking to bust out the brooms in Los Angeles. We'll talk about it next on MLB Game Night. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Now, most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth. All right, we're talking 401ks, properties, investments. Do you know everything you need to know about those things? Probably not. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why Monarch Money exists for you. Monarch Money is an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together, and it puts it together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. It's built for people with busy lives. Most of us have busy lives, so Monarch Money is for you. It's for me. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you for sure, because they do the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Even better, right? Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code, one word, LOCKEDONMLB. All right, we're going to Los Angeles. Dodgers hosting the Phillies. The Phillies already popped the champagne at Dodger Stadium after clinching the NL East on Monday. Now they got the brooms on standby as they try to sweep the Dodgers in a battle of southpaws. It was Jesus Luzardo against former Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell, who was just making his 10th start of the season, but dealing with a lot of injuries. We got Connor from Locked on Phillies, who's going to share his thoughts on a quiet night from the Phillies offense.
The Phillies get shut out by the Dodgers 5-0 in the series finale out in LA, and the offense just couldn't figure out Blake Snell tonight. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked on Phillies, and I can't get mad at them, right? They had two monster wins in this series, a division clincher. They're still in great position to get the 2 seed. And while Blake Snell punching out 12 in his start tonight is not ideal for the Philadelphia Phillies offense, maybe what this is a learning experience for a potential October matchup. Seeing a guy right before you head into the postseason, maybe you see them in the divisional round, and maybe you have a little bit more data on what Blake Snell's going to bring. The Phils are still fine. They're still going to get the 2 seed, and they head to Arizona with another winnable series and then 2 really winnable ones at home against the Marlins and Twins. They should be able to lock this down, and still maybe an outside chance at Milwaukee for the 1 seed. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked on Phillies.
Yeah, hard to be upset at your team after doing what they did the first 2 nights. Now, there was a pretty cool moment in the top of the 7th inning that might have conjured up some flashbacks for some people. John, tell us what went down with Blake Snell and the Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, Blake Snell up to this point had K'd 11, given up 2 hits, sitting at 107 pitches on the night, JD, with 2 on and 2 out. Dave Roberts comes out to pull him, and Snell was shaking his head. No, you could very clearly see Snell was not coming out of this game. Even Alex Vesia, the reliever for the Dodgers, ran out and had to go back to the bullpen. Roberts ended up letting Snell face Otto Kemp, ended up striking out for Snell's 12th K of the night and finishing 7 strong innings. And I feel like Snell was having flashbacks to the 2020 World Series when Rays manager Kevin Cash pulled him, and that ultimately cost the Rays the World Series against the Dodgers. Now, Alex Vesia did eventually come in for a 1-2-3 8th inning. Tanner Scott, who we've mentioned on this program, I think 1,000 times because he pitches every night for the Dodgers. He allowed he allowed 2 Phillies to reach, but preserved the shutout for a 5-0 Dodgers win. Look, I know what Connor's saying about the offense, but they were no hit for 5 innings against Shohei the night before. And had Shohei continued, I wonder if that would have kept up, because it seemed like it carried over into this game with Snell. Snell was dominant in this one for sure.
It shows you how scary the Dodgers can be. You know, if they got him, they get Snell, glass now. And, of course, Shohei as well, pitching really, really well. And, whoever else they want, Yamamoto, they want to get I mean, it's going to get dangerous for teams who got to face them if those guys are all pitching as well as they have so far. And, Shohei was nasty. It was it probably pained Roberts to take him out of that game because he was incredible in that outing. Let's take you to a place that wasn't so incredible. Let's take you to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, where the Reds and Cardinals were matching up. It was a rubber match between the two teams. Reds put up 11 runs on Monday night, shut out on Tuesday night, but got a chance to feast off of Cardinal starter Andre Palante in this one, who's got the fourth worst ERA among qualified starters in all of baseball. You're supposed to hit this guy. Here's Jeff Carr from Locked On Reds, who was beaming with excitement after today's game.
Cincinnati Reds are back to 500. Okay, maybe I'm embellishing my excitement a little bit, but it was nice to see the lineup go. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast. And yes, the Reds made it back to 500 with a series win over the St. Louis Cardinals, and the bats got going in a big way. It's funny what happens when you hit home runs. Really wish they'd pay attention to that this offseason and hopefully add some power. But Spencer Steer got back on the board with a big-time homer. The other part about this, though, is another error for Elly De La Cruz. And we're going to talk about it a lot. This offseason is going to be filled with conversation about, do you move Elly? Do you keep him there? Do you wait? What do you do? But every time he commits an error, it just kind of feels like there's a large group of the fan base now that is just like, move him! I don't know. It's been a tough year for Elly De La Cruz, but at least the Reds got a win. They come back home with a 4-5 road trip that included 6 games on the West Coast. That's okay, I guess.
Andre Palante, 0-8 in his last 9 starts. He's 1-12 in his last 15 starts. Woof. John, I mean, it's brutal. But despite the loss, the Cardinals did, because they won the second game of the series, win the season series against the Reds for the 19th time in the past 25 seasons and secured a winning home record against Cincinnati for the 18th straight year. So suck on that, Jeff. The Cardinals also announced that first baseman Wilson Contreras is done for the season due to right bicep strain. His first go-around at first base went pretty well. 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, new career high with doubles with 31, but even more impressive, defensive play at first base. Catcher moving over to first base, finishes as one of MLB's top defensive first basemen with a +6 outs above average, which ties him for 5th in all of baseball. I like Willie a lot, but I am curious if he, Sonny Gray, and Nolan Arenado, who all have no trade clauses, will want to come back for another year and another round of this rebuild that's going on in St. Louis. Let's go to Milwaukee. Your Angels playing once again against the team with the best record in baseball. How'd it go, John?
Yeah, 9-2 loss to the Brewers again.
No, not yesterday. What happened today?
Yeah. Tonight, also a 9-2 loss to the Brewers. Exactly. The big bummer here, JD, Angels starter Jose Soriano came out of the game after taking a 107-mile-per-hour liner on the forearm from Jake Bauers in the second inning. So x-rays were negative, no fractures, just a contusion, their favorite word. Now, Brandon Woodruff on the other side was super sharp. He came off 10 days rest just to manage his workload heading into the postseason. Struck out 9 Angels across 5 innings, moves to 7-2. After Soriano left the game, Sal Frelick hit a 3-run home run, and Blake Perkins drove in 5 on the day. Taylor Ward, the only offense for the Angels, he hit 2 solo home runs that accounted for RBI number 99 and RBI 100 on the year. So Taylor Ward having a quiet, good season. But this is the Angels' 6th straight loss. September sucks. I'm ready to let's go to the offseason already.
I feel you, brother. All right, let's take you to Minnesota, where the Yankees just kept mashing. Got shut out on Monday, if you remember, but they put up a 10 spot on Tuesday. Liked it so much, they did it again on Wednesday with a 10-5 win over the Twins. We got Brian from Locked On Yankees on why this was a good W for New York.
Yankees cap off the final game of the series in Minnesota with a victory leading to a series victory. I'm Brian McKeon from Locked On Yankees, and the magic number is now 7 to clinch a playoff berth. The Blue Jays also lost, so the Yankees moved within a game of them. Red Sox won, so they stayed even in the wild card race. This was a good game for the Yankees. You win, you take care of the series. We told you after game 1 not to worry too much. The travel situation was tough, and the Yankees really didn't lose much in game 1 when you were still able to win the series. They did that in Minnesota. They did what they were supposed to do. A solid performance out of Luis Gil, who kind of faltered late, but the bullpen was key late in this game. The bullpen was really good, and you need to figure that out late. Plus, Trent Grisham. Can you say enough? We'll talk about all of it this week on Locked On Yankees.
Did he say the bullpen was good?
Right? That's what I heard.
They haven't been, but he's right. 4 1/3 shutout innings with the usual suspects out there: Cruz, Devin Williams, Weaver, Duvall. They got it done in this one, and if they can turn it around somehow in this last week and a half, then the Yankees certainly will be a more dangerous team in the postseason. And let's go to the Rays. Tampa Bay Blue Jays continue to pace the AL and wins, but the offense decided to sleep in today. They get beat by the Rays 2-1, which is I don't know how that's possible in that ballpark. But Rays left-hander Ian Seymour allowed only 4 hits and a walk while striking out 3 over 7 innings, longest outing of his career. Got some help from his defense with Chandler Simpson robbed Alejandro Kirk of a 3-run homer in the 4th inning. News on the Rays. Star third baseman Junior Caminero left the game with back tightness, scheduled to have tomorrow off anyways, and is hoping to be back in action this weekend, but kind of need you, Junior. Fantasy team is going up against some dogs this week. Going to Arizona, Diamondbacks got an electric start from starter Brandon Pfaadt. He threw 9 scoreless innings of 1 hit ball with 7 Ks, but somehow they lost. He was matched by vintage Verlander, 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts. Pfaadt's performance as good as it was, the Giants put up 5 runs in the 11th inning. The Giants end up winning this one by a score of 5-1. They move within 2 games of the Mets for the 3rd wild card spot, while the Diamondbacks are a game and a half back behind New York. We go to Chicago, where the Orioles complete the sweep of the White Sox with a 3-1 win behind starter Tyler Wells in his 3rd start since returning from elbow surgery back in June of 24. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 4. Orioles prospect Dylan Beavers. He's like a dude that everybody needs to keep an eye on. Yeah. Beavers, man.
Did you pick him up for fantasy?
I haven't yet, but I might as well, dude, with guys I'm going up against. 2-run shot for Beavers in this one. Jeremiah Jackson drives in the 3rd run, and the White Sox end up losing to the Orioles by a score of 3-1. Braves at Nationals. The Braves complete the sweep of Washington with a 16-hit day. Former Cardinal legend Marcelo Ozuna had a big 3 RBI day. Matt Olson is pounding my fantasy team right now. Another solo home run, 5th home run in 6 games, where he has 11 RBIs in that span. I immediately need Matt Olson to pee in a cup and send that into the league because he's killing me. Brave starter Hurston Waldrop moves to 5-1 with 8 Ks over 5 innings. He sat down the first 13 in a row. Braves take it 9-4. Final game of the night. We had the Marlins at the Rockies. Battle of the 1993 expansion teams.
There
Multiple All-Stars selected in the expansion draft, but only one Hall of Famer got selected in that draft. You know who it was, John.
Do I cheat and with the answer right here?
It's up to you.
Trevor Hoffman, baby. Let's go.
Trevor Hoffman, shortstop Trevor Hoffman, actually. Drafted as a shortstop by the Reds, but converted him to a pitcher in the minor leagues because he had a great arm, but was terrible as a hitter. So left unprotected. The Marlins ended up taking Hoffman in the draft. Then they flip him, trade him to the Padres for Gary Sheffield. He's pretty good too.
That's a name
the
I
rest
know.
is history. Hoffman's former team, the Marlins. Let's get back to reality here in 2025. But Hoffman's former team, the Marlins, ends up beating the Rockies by a score of 8-4. Rockies are now at 41-111. They need one more win, John. One more to avoid tying the White Sox from last year, who went in abysmal 41-121. Will they get it, John?
I hope so. I want to see it. I want to see it happen again.
not a lot of faith there. I hope so. Well,
I hope so.
We'll find out together. We got a few games left. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We hope you guys will come back and visit us next time on MLB Game Night. Every game, every night.